Region 2, Mid-Atlantic. Mobility, government, and ambiguity. What if the most powerful force in America was not money, not technology, but permission? Stay with me, because in this region, permission decides everything. This is the Mid-Atlantic, not a place you simply live in, but a system you learn to operate inside. Maryland, Delaware, Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia, not a state, but a functional extension of power. This region doesn't promise reinvention, it promises continuity. And that promise attracts millions. If the Northeast is driven by ideas, debate, and confrontation, the Mid-Atlantic is driven by procedure. Here, progress doesn't arrive suddenly. It advances quietly, line by line, form by form, approval by approval. Nothing moves fast, but almost nothing stops completely. And that difference reshapes ambition itself. Washington, D.C. is not a city in the usual sense. It is an administrative organism, a dense concentration of agencies, departments, committees, task forces, briefings, hearings, and decisions, most of which will never trend online, yet quietly shape how the country functions. Power here rarely raises its voice. It doesn't need to. It moves through memos, through regulations, through signatures most people will never see. And once established, it stays. Around D.C., entire ecosystems emerged to serve that permanence. Northern Virginia transformed into a landscape of defense contractors, cybersecurity firms, intelligence analysts, data specialists, and consultants. People trained not to disrupt systems, but to stabilize them. Maryland became home to research institutions, federal laboratories, public health agencies, and academic pipelines feeding the state itself. Delaware, smaller, quieter, mastered something else entirely: legal efficiency, invisible to most people, essential to global corporations. Different roles, same gravitational pull. Ask yourself this: would you trade speed for certainty? Would you trade freedom for protection? Because that trade defines life here. Careers in the Mid-Atlantic are famously stable. Clear ladders, defined pay grades, predictable promotions, benefits you can plan a life around. People don't chase volatility here, they manage longevity. But stability has a cost. Your growth depends on hierarchy. Your voice passes through filters. Your autonomy is shaped by clearance and compliance. The latter exists, but it's narrow, vertical, and carefully guarded. Living inside this environment produces a specific mindset: bureaucratic stoicism. Not dramatic, not heroic. A quiet ability to endure complexity without complaint, to function inside ambiguity without panic, to accept limits without resentment. Here, patience isn't philosophical, it's practical. You learn to separate ego from outcome, emotion from execution, not because you care less, but because caring too loudly has consequences. If this feels familiar, you're not alone. This series isn't about maps, it's about how environments shape behavior. Stay with it. There is comfort in the Mid-Atlantic. Institutions endure, processes work, rules create predictability. In a chaotic world, that feels safe. But safety always negotiates with freedom. Economic mobility slows, risk is discouraged. Innovation must justify itself before it exists. Freedom isn't forbidden, it's scheduled. Politics here isn't loud, it's structural. Administrations change, priorities shift, funding realigns. Careers survive not through passion, but adaptability.
the most successful people aren't the loudest voices. They're the most attentive ones. They sense where the system is moving before it moves. Notice this. Power here doesn't disappear. It rotates, and everyone below it adjusts. Virtue in the Mid-Atlantic is quiet. It's integrity under supervision, ethics without applause, doing the right thing, especially when no one is watching. In a region defined by access to power, restraint becomes morality. You don't win by breaking rules. You win by understanding them better than anyone else. The Mid-Atlantic doesn't ask who you are. It asks where you fit, and what you do inside that structure defines your life. In the next region, structure will fade, and identity will take over. Different rules, different virtues, different risks. If this region teaches us how to function, the next one will ask who we are when structure disappears. Stay with the series.